Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome to ManicManiac Recaps and Predictions for this time, the 2015 NFL season. Week number 9 is officially the midpoint. This is the medium of the NFL season. Week number 9 sits between the first 8 weeks and the final 8 weeks. So we are about to hit the final stretch, the 8 final weeks. Well, not really the final stretch, but at least the second half, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun, because now matchups get a lot more interesting. Not just the two teams that are facing each other, but the significance of each matchup changes, essentially, as time goes by. You may think, oh, well, these two teams face each other, that's not going to be really interesting, and you're looking at like a Week 13 matchup, and then once you get there, you're like, oh my god, this is like a do or die game. So these matchups begin to get really a lot more interesting, and I'm so excited because that's good. That means that any game can decide once and for all who gets into the playoffs and who doesn't. Even the Week 2 matchups can decide who gets into the playoffs and who doesn't. So it's very interesting to see which ones actually do have significance or not. But we'll see how much each matchup affects a team and their playoff chances as the final weeks come. So, anyways, we're just at the midpoint though. It's week 9. Let's see how I did in the last. There's no way in hell I could pick against the future 16-0 Patriots. I know that's a little too much. I think the Lions will take this. Falcons take it in this one. Cardinals will win this. This will be an easy win for the Rams. I'm going with the Saints. Boom. I'm going to give it to the Vikings. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Bengals will win this. So I'm going to go with the Titans on this one. But I'm taking the Jets. Seahawks. Take it. I'm going to take the Packers. But I'm going to take the Panthers to go 7-0. Alright, 8-6 last week. So the past few weeks I've been really just not doing well at all. It is 72-47. You know, I wish it was better, but it's not bad. It's still, yes, 47 losses is not ideal, but you know, I want to get to the point where I get a whole week right, which has happened before for me last year, where I wasn't really doing the predictions as a video, but I was doing the weekly pick'ems. I kicked ass at one point. I got an entire week right, so I'm hoping that's going to be my time soon. It was during one of the 16-game weeks, so if it happens this week, which I have more of the chance to because it's the fewest amount of games in a week throughout the season, then yeah, that'd be great. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. This is actually the week that has the most people off in this season, and you'll see right here as we go to our first segment. Take a break, even if you haven't earned it. And we look, the Lions, the Ravens, the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Seahawks. They haven't earned a break, but they need a break, that's for sure, but they haven't really earned it. The Cardinals earned it, alright? They earned it. I really need to change the title of the segment, because next time, because it's we're almost over with it, but it doesn't really fit to what I meant with this title. But anyways, the Cardinals, they've earned it, but do they need it? Not really. They're on a roll right now. But there's also some worries with the Cardinals, because you know there's times where they all of a sudden they're doing it. They seem like they're team to beat in the NFC West division, and they end up losing to the Steelers, who without Ben Roethlisberger, they've had Jarvis Landry, and they somehow lost to I keep on saying Jarvis Landry. It's Landry Jones. God. Landry Jones. I don't know how they did that. That was just weird. I think the Cardinals, they're still the team to beat in the NFC West, but they have some question marks here and there. And I think it's good that they're getting this bye, because next week is a Sunday night matchup against the Seahawks, which should be back. Very interesting. In fact, the Cardinals come back from bye and do back-to-back Sunday night football appearances. One when they're visiting the Seahawks, and then another game at home when they host the Bengals. That was just flexed on the schedule. That it was originally the Chiefs and Chargers, but people just realized those are two suck-ass teams. Let's flex them over. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about all the other teams. I will say this: the Seahawks, I think, obviously have the best shot at making the playoffs at this point. Out of the other 5 here, the Cardinals probably will make it, whether that be a wild card spot or as winning the division. I hope they win the division, just as someone that likes to see the leaders in divisions change every once in a while. Like I don't like the same divisional winner every single year, but sometimes that happens. My life as a Jets and Bills fan. Oh, those Patriots! You can't destroy them. But yeah, hopefully we'll see the Cardinals win the division. But if not, they'll probably get a wild card spot because they're playing pretty well enough to actually get into the playoffs. As for the other 5, there's question marks all around. I think the Seahawks can still make it in. I think that they could still win the division, but they're gonna have to go through the Rams and they'll have to go through the Cardinals. And it's gonna be a rough road ahead for the Seahawks, I think, and especially how they've done. The Cowboys team is injured in a lot of ways, and they're just not playing that well, and the fact that they had to compete to the very end with them is a huge, like, whoa, what the hell. This Seahawks team is having a lot of issues, so maybe after this bye they can go 8-0, but we'll see what happens. Right now, they're very iffy. So, anyways, I see the Lions, Ravens, Texans, Chiefs. They're all out of the playoff contention at this point. Definitely the Lions because they have the worst record. Ravens are just falling behind the Bengals and even the Steelers. They're just falling behind them. The Texans. Well, actually, I'll give this to the Texans. They are in a very shitty division with the Colts, the Titans, and the Jaguars, all of which have losing records. And I think right now the Texans are tied for first place. And if the Colts lose this week, which they probably will, the Texans will be on the top of that division. How that happens, who knows? But that's gonna be what's gonna happen. I'm hoping this. I mean, again, as I've said, I like it when there's a division change. So if the Texans do end up winning division, all right, we'll take it. But they're coming out of the bye. I think they're going to face the Bengals, and that's not going to help their cause at all. So I don't know. We'll see how everything goes. So 6 teams, all taking the break this week. We'll see how it affects their season going forward, if at all. All right, onto our picks. And again, as I mentioned earlier, how all these matchups are really going to start mattering, even this one, because this is a big game for both teams. Both the Browns against the Bengals. Look at the Browns; they're 2-6, right? And it's pretty obvious that they're probably not going to make it. But if they get Johnny Manziel in there, and they end up beating an undefeated Bengals team, it would have to be because of good quarterback play. And if that's the case, they know that they can depend on Johnny Manziel for the future, and this could be a new era beginning for the Browns. So it is a big game for this team, but it's also a big game for the Bengals, because this will be the first time they ever get to 8-0, I think. Could be wrong about that. The first time they'll ever go to 8-0, and if they beat the Browns, that means that they have beaten every single team in their division. I believe that would make them 3-0 in the division, and that will put them way above everyone else. It's going to be a big deal for them, and that will mean that this division, people are saying they already run away with the division, but this will really solidify it if they get this win. So it's a big game for both, and for the fact that Andy Dalton sucks in primetime. If he can win another primetime game against the Browns, I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think that it'll be interesting. I am going to go with the Bengals. No reason not to. They're an awesome team. And, yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens going forward, right? Alright. This is a big matchup for Sunday. Wish it was a primetime game, but whatever. Packers, Panthers, 2 undefeated teams. last week. And now the Packers just are coming off of a very tough loss against the Broncos. Now they're 6-1. And now the Panthers came close to losing to the Colts, but it was able to pull out the epic victory, and we're 7-0. So, how I see this going down, I think the Packers are going to have a lot of just built up frustration from the fact that they were able to not only lose the Broncos, but end up getting crushed by them. They were really just beat up. And I was surprised because this is the Packers. This is a team that everyone's saying, oh, they're going to win the NFC. Right now, the Panthers are going to run away with it unless someone brings them down. And that someone can be the Packers. The Packers need to win this one because otherwise, and this could be a whether or not this team gets a bye or not. Like, this is a huge game for the Green Bay Packers because this could really affect their playoff chances. Hold on. I should say that this team will probably go to the playoffs, but this could affect how they do in their own division and how they'll do in the conference, if they'll get a bye. Like, there's a lot of questions here where you don't know where they're going to end up landing if they lose to the Panthers right here. And of course, the Panthers, they faced all these contenders. They faced the Seahawks, they faced the Colts, and they faced the. I guess you could debate over whether they deserve to be called contenders or not, but they beat these really teams that tend to be good, and they really made a statement over these past 7-8 weeks, where they are now still undefeated, and now they're going to go up against this team, and if they win this one, it is a huge win for them. Huge. That puts them at 8-0, and they can probably just glide their way to at least the number 1 seed in the NFC. Maybe not necessarily on being undefeated for the year, but number 1 in the NFC could be possible, and that'll be big. But with that being said, I'm actually going to go with the surprise pick here. I'm going to go with the Packers. And the reason I'm saying this is just because I think the Packers are going to have a lot of frustration. They're going to really want to kick some butt, and I think that Aaron Rodgers will be able to learn their mistakes from the Broncos game and take on at least a slightly weaker Panthers defense. The Panthers defense is great, don't get me wrong, but they're not Broncos defense. I think the Packers will learn from that. They're a great team. They can learn from their mistakes, and they'll go out there and execute. I'm going with the Packers. I really would love to pick the Panthers, but this will probably be the last time I pick against the Panthers, unless they win, unless they lose this one, like I expect. But this is going to be a big game for the Packers. If they win this one, that could at least keep them in the playoff, in the bye week, number 1 seed race. So that'll be good for them. All right, I'm talking a lot about these matchups, but they're very interesting. The Redskins against the Patriots. This one, you could argue that this could be one-sided, but I think the Redskins will bring some heat. The Redskins are part of a division that is really up. It's up for anyone to grab, really. Every single team in the division right now has 4 losses. Actually, scratch that. So it's the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Giants that have 4, and Cowboys have 5. So this is really still, but regardless, this is still anyone's team, anyone's division to win. So this win, and I'm laughing because I don't think it's going to happen, but if the Redskins win this game, that will really give them a lot of credit. They beat the Patriots. Oh, whoops, I went back. I got so excited, guys, great. Good job. I'm so tired. The Redskins, if they beat this team somehow, it's really going to put them in a good position. It's going to make them it's going to make them look like a really good team. And that they'll probably end up winning the division if they beat the Patriots. I'm just saying, that's going to be huge. If they could come out of this bye and just all of a sudden just be like, yeah, we're just going to crush the Patriots today. Sounds good. Regardless of that, though, I'm going to go with the realistic scenario. I say the Patriots are going to win this one. Click. Okay. The Patriots are going to win. But it's not going to be as one-sided as everyone thinks. I think the Redskins' defense will give the Patriots a little bit of trouble. And Kirk Cousins, man, they came from behind from 24-3 all the way to make that game 31-30 before the bye against the Buccaneers. That was a fun game to watch, and to see how good of a quarterback Kirk Cousins at least looked at the moment was awesome. But I think the Buccaneers defense can make any quarterback look good, so I'll hold off on saying that. But I think this could be a close matchup. But then again, it is the Patriots, and they can make a team that seems like they're going to do a good job against them, make them look like a NCAA football team. So it is really not. We can't really say for sure. I think it's going to be a close matchup, but it's definitely going to go to the Patriots, undefeated, kicking ass, 16-0 bound. Again, I don't know what team will stop them. Although, after this past weekend, seeing the Broncos beat the Packers like they did, it makes you wonder. That Patriot-Bronco matchup that'll be happening a few Sundays from now, after the two Cardinal games, after the two Cardinal Sunday games, Week 12 is the Patriots going up against the Broncos. I think they are visiting the Broncos. In fact, I'll double check this, but that's going to be a huge game. Yes, it's going to be the Patriots visiting the Broncos. So I know Foxborough, that is hard to beat the Patriots in Foxborough. So now they're in Miles High, in Sports Authority Field. And, I mean, that's going to be a good matchup to watch. Regardless, I mean, I'm going to probably still pick the Patriots at that point, depending on where everyone's at. But it's going to be an epic game. Probably a battle between two undefeateds, unless somehow either of those teams get taken down. But I'm hoping for those teams that is the ultimate game of the undefeated. It's not like the Packers Broncos where it was actually one-sided, which shocked me. But the Patriots win this one. I'm really taking so long to go through these. I'm sorry. This is also interesting to me. The Titans against the Saints. Man, I don't know. The Titans, I'm so shocked that he got rid of Ken Whisenhunt. And I know a lot of fans of the Titans wanted him gone, but that team, I felt, could have still gone somewhere with Whisenhunt in. I think they just had bad players. Can you name 10 or 15 players on the Titans that are actually decent? I mean, I can name a few, like Marcus Mariota, obviously, he's the quarterback. Dorial Green-Beckham, I think, has a huge future. He's another rookie. Obviously, Jarrell Casey. You have Jason McCourty at quarterback, who could do a lot. Parrish Cox at quarterback, he could do a lot. You have... I think that's it for me. There's still some other ones that are good. I just can't think of them at the moment. But that's what I mean. There's not a lot of great players in the Titans. I think this is still a team that needs rebuilding. And I think they really should have let Ken Whisenhunt stay for a little while and continue that rebuilding process. Like, okay, now you got a quarterback. Now build on your offensive line. Build on your defense. This was not a 2-year project or a 1.5-year project for the Titans. I feel like they've fired him way too soon, and I don't get it. He was a guy that brought the Cardinals to the Super Bowl back in like 2009 or 2008 when they faced the Steelers. Obviously, the Steelers won that one, but it really he was so close. He was like 58 seconds close to winning the Super Bowl. And the fact that they're firing him now mid-season, like, that's a dagger. That is a huge dagger that the guy I don't think deserves. So, it's just sad to me. But the Saints, they're revitalized. They still got Sean Payton, and they're playing some of their best football right now. They were in a slump, and now they're kicking ass. And I'm so happy for this team. A team that has been through a lot over the years, and they won that one Super Bowl in 2009. They were playoff contenders for quite a few years, but they've been slipping, and I feel like this team is really getting their groove back, really know what they're doing now. Their defense is still horrible, but they're getting there, and I don't think the Titans can do anything now. I think the Titans are pretty much they're like a guy in a mental home that just got lobotomized. They're just a pickle that just lies down now, can't really do fucking shit. It's the Titans. I just think no matter how good of a team this can be under for whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even know who the interim name. Malarkey. There you go. It's the fucking guy's name is Malarkey. Jesus. I just don't think the Titans can do it. Saints win this game. Oh god. I think the Titans have like any hope this season is a bunch of malarkey. And I'm just no way. There will be a point where I'm like, okay, maybe the Titans can win some games. Right now, the Saints are actually a good team right now. There's no way they're losing. If the Saints lose to the Titans, that's it. That's you can call the Saints season right there. And a lot of people already have, but this team, they're getting their groove back, and now they're facing the Titans. This is an easy win for them. The Saints are gonna win it easy. So especially with the now lobotomized Tennessee Titans. Oh, God. And you know what else? I'm talking way too much about all these teams, but man, the guy has the same exact record as Ken Whisenhunt. He coached the Bills and the Jaguars and did not do shit for either organizations. And now he was the, I think, what was he, the tight ends coach or something like that? I know Dan Campbell was for the Dolphins, but he was someone on the offense got the position. But like the guy was 3-20 with those teams or something like that. And then meanwhile, he's 3-20 with like 4 different quarterbacks, and the same thing with Ken Whisenhunt. I don't get it. It is bizarre to me where this Titans team is going. It's weird. Whatever. I really wanted to root for the Titans this year. I was hoping that they would win the division. I was hoping they'd win the division because of how bad the Colts have been, how bad the Texans have been, and how bad the Jaguars have been. I was hoping they'd win the division, but they just fired a really good head coach. Makes no sense to me. Anyways, moving on. Dolphins at Bills, another one of my favorite rivalry games, and it's a rematch already. Dolphins and Bills faced each other in Week 3. The Bills annihilated the Dolphins at Sun Life Stadium, and it was quite the beating. And can it happen again? Well, the Bills are a little bit more beat up, but I think that the Bills are also coming off of 2 weeks of losing. So that kind of sucks for them. But the Bills, they're going to get back Tyrod Taylor. They're going to get back Carlos Williams. They still have LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy is okay. He's great. They still have a lot of offensive weapons that can really get this Dolphins defense teared up. But I think the defense has become more lively since Dan Campbell has become the interim head coach. And so I think that the Bills could have some issues there. Now, you look at what the Bills are on defense. And this defense is a lot... I don't even know what to say about the defense. It's not what it used to be. And I think it does still have a lot of power, but they need to use it well. Kyle Williams probably is out this week. And now I see Mario Williams on their injury report, which is not good. If you lose both of the Williams, I don't know. I mean, you do still have Darius, you still got Hughes, but I don't know who's going to fill the other 2 spots. And that's going to be scary if you can't stop Ryan Tannehill, because otherwise they're going to throw it out on the field and it's going to be bad. But Darby has been good at cornerback. He's been doing his job, and I have a lot of confidence in the Bills still. So I'm going to go with the Bills. Bills win it. And the Dolphins team loses again. I feel like the Dolphins took a big beating by the Patriots. They are going to... This is the first time Dan Campbell has to, overcome adversity after a loss. Or I should say the second time, I guess, because the first time that their fucking head coach got fired. So this is the first time that they've had a loss under him as head coach, I should say. So first time as a head coach, he has had to overcome some adversity with the Patriots loss. So I think that there's going to be some firepower. But this is the Bills. This is the Bills at home. And though the Bills don't have the best record at home, I think the Bills can still get it done. I'm hoping for the Bills to win it, and I think they can. Bills win. Just a more complete team, and they get their quarterback back. So that's good. All right. On to the Rams at the Vikings. So then, talking about games that are important going forward, this is one of them. Rams and Vikings have been said to be some potential wildcards teams, some playoff sleepers that people really think could end up getting into the playoffs and end up kicking some butt. So now, these two teams are kind of competing for like the last wildcard spot, because the Vikings have the Packers leading their division and the Rams have the Cardinals leading their division. But if these two teams continue to compete the way they're competing, Todd Gurley carrying that team, and the defense on the Vikings with Adrian Peterson and Teddy Bridgewater on a good day, I think both teams can really kick some butt. But for now, this was a really tough matchup for me to pick, so I'm essentially just going to go with the home team, but I think both teams have a huge shot at winning, and really, whoever loses this has less likely of a chance to make the playoffs, and I guess that's really obvious with any loss, but this is a big game, big wild card game, essentially, and if whoever wins has a better shot at making it, and whoever loses has a worse shot. Again, just like any other game. But this is a significant wins and significant losses. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going to go with the home team. And the Rams, though, they have Todd Gurley. If Todd Gurley can tear up the Vikings defense, then that's going to be good for them. But the Vikings at home, I think, will do some damage on the Rams. We'll see, though. We'll see. I could definitely be wrong about this one. All right. Jaguars and Jets. Jaguars, you can't deny that this team is looking better offensively than it did last year. Blake Bortles is finally using his weapons with Allen Robinson, and now Julius Thomas on this team. I can't believe Julius Thomas is a fucking Jaguar. That was like one of the shocks of the off season. I thought, I was just like, wow, he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars instead of staying with the Denver Broncos. Does he regret that? Now, just kind of look at what the Broncos are doing, and now look at this. My God, this is a matchup that is going to be a lot closer than people may think. And well, actually, never mind. I think a lot of people this game could be a toss-up because of what the Jets did last week against Oakland. Now, I don't want to downplay the Oakland Raiders because they kicked butt. They're a good team. I really do think so. I'm going to talk about them next. But the Jets just did not come to play last week. And I think it was maybe it was a rough trip or whatever it was. They just did not have fun. And I really think that the Jets, they need to get their act together on both sides of the ball. Ryan Fitzpatrick luckily won't miss this game. He's going to play. They still got Chris Ivory. They still got their wide receivers. They still got their defense complete. They just need to play like they did before they faced the fucking Patriots. And even against the Patriots, they played well. But against the Raiders, they just shat their pants. It was horrible. So I think the Jets could get their shit together. They're facing a Jaguars team that hasn't had a lot of luck except for 2 games, the Dolphins and the Bills. Ironically, 2 AFC East teams. But I think the Jets will do to the Jaguars like the Patriots did to the Jaguars. Maybe not drop a 50 burger, but will beat the shit out of them. I say the Jets will win. And I swear that's not my bias speaking, but I think the Jets will win. The Jaguars, they'll keep it close, but I think the Jets will still beat the living shit out of them. So there you go. That's why I think. Alright, Raiders, Steelers. Alright, ready for this one? This is going to be an interesting one to talk about. Steelers just lost Le'Veon Bell again, which is horrible. I wish him well. That's just horrible that they finally get Big Ben back and then they lose Le'Veon Bell for the season. Like, God, this team is having so much, like, their luck is horrible. So, I really want to choose the Steelers in this one. But, look at the Raiders. They looked the past 2 weeks. They took down the Chargers and they took down the Jets. Now, the Chargers, I feel like, have been out of it. But the Jets, they've been in this playoff competition, like playoff conversation. They're currently are a wild card, and to beat them, to make them look like shit, The Raiders are an amazing, and not, I should say amazing team, but they're a good team. They're becoming a great young team. This team could do a lot of damage in the future. And this is like your grandfather's Raiders that finally, they're this is now giving flashbacks back to like the 70s or the 80s. No, 70s, when the Raiders were dominating a lot of their division. They were such a big, strong, tough team. I think the Raiders are starting to become that again. Maybe not like huge and strong, but they're a young team that has a lot of talent, and they're going to do a lot of damage. I'm going to do the big shock here. I'm going to say the Raiders are going to win this game. And the Steelers, I mean, they have a really good shot to beat the Raiders, but I think this team is really getting on a roll. They've just had massive games against these past 2 weeks, beating the Chargers the way they did, beating the Jets the way they did. I think they could do the same thing to the Steelers now without Le'Veon Bell. And you could say that D'Angelo Williams is going to do just as well. Well, maybe not just as well, but good enough for the Steelers for them to function. But I like the Raiders. I like what they can do. I'm going to go with them for now. That's the basics of what I'm going to say. Alright, Giants, Buccaneers. This game is insane, because I really would have picked the Giants, but the Giants, they go from doing great to doing horrible, and so quickly. And I'm as a Giants fan, I know that the games that they should win, they don't. And the games that they shouldn't win, really, they end up doing so. And this is a team that is just bizarre and weird in many ways. The Giants' secondary is awful. It is absolutely awful. So bad that they let a 50 burger be dropped on their asses. That is not good. They get JPP back, potentially. Good for them, right? But the Buccaneers are on a roll. They just took down a Falcons team that has lost its edge, I think, a little bit. Kind of fallen off the wagon. But they're still a decent team. And the fact that the Buccaneers were able to beat them is huge. Huge. And, like Donald Trump, huge. It is huge. I got the puckered lips, comb over, whatever. The Buccaneers, I think they're not an amazing team, not in any way a playoff caliber team, but they're getting there, and I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here. And I know that's really, I hate picking against the Giants here, but they really just disappoint when they're not meant to disappoint, and this is really a Giants game to win. If you're going to win a game, the Giants should win this one. But I don't think that they can. I think the Buccaneers are on a roll, and I think they can win this one. I think the Buccaneers can beat the Giants, and will continue to make the Giants slip down the NFC East ladder, and potentially the Eagles will take the top spot in the division, which I'll get to in a second. Alright, so that's the Buccaneers winning that one. Alright, Falcons and the 49ers. Well, this has been a very eventful week. A lot has happened, and a lot of it revolving around the 49ers. So first, they traded away their tight end. Vernon Davis is now a Bronco. That was kind of expected that they were going to trade him away. Someone, in fact, rightly guessed that he was going to be traded to the Broncos. So this was not that much of a surprise. And now, they sit Colin Kaepernick for Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert, I've never seen him play because I haven't really been watching the NFL for too long, but I know based off of seeing how he has played and just seeing in past videos how he has played and just the mess that he was. I think that it's gonna be very interesting to see how he plays. And when I say interesting, I think he's gonna suck ass. I mean, I guess I get what the 49ers are doing. I'm not saying it's a huge surprise that Kaepernick is sitting on the bench, but to do it against the Falcons, like, and they say, oh yeah, the Falcons defense is weak, but I don't know. I think the Falcons can get their shit together, hopefully, and get their defense back in shape, back to what it was like in week 1 and week 2, and I think they could beat the 49ers very easily. Especially now with Blaine Gabbert, who hasn't started in a while, kind of rusty, and yes, he has the weapons with Torrey Smith and Anquan Bolden, and I don't know who else. They got Pierre Thomas as running back. I can't, I'm not even gonna fake this. Falcons are gonna win. The 49ers are a mess. They'll probably get the top pick in the draft. There's people that are actually guessing that because Blaine Gabbert had such horrible receivers and horrible weapons at when he played for the Jaguars, that he could come into the 49ers and now suddenly win because the 49ers have better weapons. I don't really think so. The 49ers don't really have a lot of great weapons at all. They're just kind of exist. They're just there, and whoever throws to them, and then they just do whatever they gotta do, but they're not spectacular either. It's not a good team. And the Falcons, I think, yes, they lost to the Buccaneers. Yes, they kept it close with the Titans, and they lost to the Saints too. And they've really crumbled in the past few weeks. But I think they could get their act together and beat the 49ers at least, because I think the 49ers are a worse team than the Buccaneers. Yes, I just said it. The Buccaneers are a better team than the 49ers. You can quote me on that. You can put my name on it. I don't fucking care. I believe it. I think the Buccaneers are a better team than the 49ers by a landslide. Falcons are going to win. No doubt. If they lose, they're fucked. And then the Vikings and Rams will both be in the wild card, so everyone's happy. Alright, anyways, oh, did I not change this one? Oh, little shit. Oh, we'll do some little editing here while I shit. Yes, while I shit, because I'm definitely gonna try that right now. I'm sorry about this. I thought I got it all set up, but I guess I was in a little bit of a rush. Not like this fucking video where I'm just talking about everything, No big deal. Alright. Whee! Alright. Perfect. Okay. Alright, Broncos and Colts. That worked out. Wow, the Broncos are great. Amazing team. And Peyton Manning is actually playing like Peyton Manning again. Had a pretty good game. It wasn't the best Peyton Manning game, but it was still like, wow, he's back. I mean, he never left, but like, geez, this is what we wanted. We wanted to see Peyton Manning do good stuff. Like, we wanted to see him finally win some games for this team, and I think he did it. He definitely got his stuff together on offense, and it was amazing the fact that he did it against a Packers defense, which was, I think, number 1 in scoring. So I don't know. I'm surprised that all of a sudden it was a good. I will say this: it was a good game for Peyton Manning to get his shit back together and play a good game. It was a good game for him to choose that, or maybe not choose, but to finally get his groove into the offense and finally play good, play well. Like in English, the Broncos are playing lights out defense and just are now looking better on offense. And now with Vernon Davis, that is the tight end that they needed to replace Julius Thomas, not Owen Daniels, but Vernon Davis. And Vernon Davis is going to be a huge help to them. And now you look at the Colts, and they looked good in the second half, or maybe the fourth quarter more so, and they came back from a huge deficit only to lose to Cam Newton. So this Colts team could put up a fight, but I don't think they can do enough. It's gonna be hard for me to see the Colts going deep into the playoffs, but I can see them making it with how crappy their division is. But I don't know. They're there. They exist. And now the controversy with the fucking injury report, with how they did not list Andrew Luck having broken ribs. It's bizarre. Whatever is happening, the whole Colts team is falling apart. We'll probably see Chuck Pagano gone by this next week, because I think the next week's their bye week. He'll probably be gone by then. I don't know why they're gonna fire him, but they are, because I don't know. I think the GM should go first, because they did not draft. They drafted a wide receiver in the first fucking round. Why would you draft that when you don't have an offensive line to protect your quarterback? And the quarterback is injured. He's playing injured apparently, and you're letting him play. It's weird. It's the Colts organization just completely shat itself this season. I don't think they're gonna have a comeback game against the Broncos. The Broncos are gonna win. Broncos are going to win. I'll repeat it 3 times because that's how confident I am. So there you go. Sunday Night Football. Eagles, Cowboys. This big, epic, divisional battle that contains all shit teams. In Sunday Night Football. I wish this was the game that was flexed. Then the Cardinals-Bengals game to get to Sunday Night Football. I was hoping that sooner or later they would move the Packers and Panthers into this Sunday Night Football slot, or the Broncos and Colts into the Sunday Football slot. Anyway, either way, just put at least one good team in it. But right now, the Eagles look horrible on offense. Cowboys look horrible everywhere. And I shouldn't say that. The Cowboys, they look like they're getting it together, but then they don't. And they also look like they're falling apart off the field too. It's bad. Whatever it is, they need their quarterback back. They need someone back to leading that game. And I'm actually, I look at the Eagles and their offense is still poor, but I think this is the game for them to get their shit together. This is the game to just be like, okay, we're facing the Dallas Cowboys. This is practically our number one enemy, I guess, next to the Giants. We need to beat this team. If we're going to have any shot at making the playoffs, this is the team that we're going to beat. I think the Eagles are going to end up winning the division. I predicted that before the actual season began. But I think that the Eagles are going to win the division, and by doing that, they're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys to make sure that they don't have the tiebreaker against them. So, Eagles are going to win this game. And it's just because Tony Romo is still not back, and the Cowboys team they're not. Yes, they played good defense, and against the Eagles offense, that could be bad. But you'll look at the Eagles defense and how suffocating that Eagles defense is. It is very underrated, and they are going to kick some butt. I think the Eagles are going to win this one. And I know, again, people might doubt that. They're going to say the Cowboys. I disagree. I'm going to go with the Eagles. This is the one time I have faith in the Eagles. So very rarely. But this is a torn up team the Dallas Cowboys are. They need their quarterback back. They're not going to get it back until the Dolphins, when they play the Dolphins, and then I don't even know if it's going to be too late for them. But we'll see what happens. Eagles win. Alright. Now to the worst Monday Night Football match they've ever selected. The Bears against the Chargers. Why? Why is this a primetime game? I mean, this is just bizarre. What did the Bears and the Chargers have anything to do with each other, first of all? And it's not like these teams had a lack of primetime games. I mean, the Chargers were just on Monday Night Football against the Steelers, and the Bears have a primetime game against the Packers, which is very significant because of how that rivalry is. So now you got the Bears against the Chargers. It makes no sense to me. Whatever. Both teams have had their fair share of losses this season, and fair share of just mediocrity, but they've also had their fair share of kicking some ass, and I think Phillip Rivers is going to be a major factor in this game. He's going to play I'm hoping that, I should say I'm hoping, but I'm predicting that he's going to have a really good game against these Bears, and I don't want to say that the Bears don't have a shot, but first of all, the Bears have beaten the Raiders and the Chiefs. Raiders apparently now was a big win for them because of how good the Raiders team has been. So the fact that they were able to beat the Raiders barely, and they were able to beat the Chiefs barely, those are some big wins. And now to face the Chargers. Let's look at it this way. There's a good shot that the Bears have. The Bears do have a good shot. Again, looking back at the Chiefs game, how the Chiefs are kind of at the same level as the Chargers, maybe even a little bit better. But the Chargers, with Phillip Rivers at the helm, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I think he's just going to have a field day. I'm going to pick the Chargers, and I'm hoping the Bears prove me wrong, because this is a game that they need to win in order to stay at all relevant. Both of these teams need to win this matchup, because otherwise, one goes 2-7, the other would go 2-6 if they lose. It would just be bad for both. So the Chargers need to snap their losing streak, and the Bears need to just win something. They need to. If they go 3-6, I mean, again, it's not ideal, but I don't know. It looks good that they win in primetime, I guess. This fucking match, I don't know why it's even here, but it's significant in some way. We're bringing it back. It's significant in some sort of fashion because these are two teams that are resting in the second half of their divisions, the bottom half. And they needed to do better, and this is a game they need to win, even though it's out of conference game, and it's whatever. I'm moving on. Chargers win. All right, so here we go. We're at the end now. So that's week 9. That's how I see week 9 going down. A lot more home game choosing this time. A lot of reaching ones. I can see myself being wrong about the Packers game. I think the Panthers could definitely win that one. The Dolphins could probably beat the Bills. The Rams could probably beat the Vikings. The Steelers could probably definitely beat the Raiders. The Giants, man, I hope they beat the Bucks. Let's see. I have a very hard time seeing the 49ers beating the Falcons. I'm very confident with that Falcons choice. Broncos will definitely beat the Colts. Eagles should definitely kick the Cowboys' butts. I don't know. Maybe there's a chance. I think the Cowboys, maybe with their defense, maybe something. I don't know. The Cowboys' defense is nothing like the Eagles' defense. I will say that. I think the Eagles' defense has their shit together compared to the Cowboys. And the Chargers and Bears game it can go either way. I think they have basically the same record. I think it's 2-5 and 2-6 are their records. They both have 2 wins. So someone's going to get their 3rd win on that Monday night matchup. We'll see. All right. Anyways, that's it for my rant on my predictions. That was a long episode. That was a 47-minute episode. Holy shit. I'm sorry, but there was so much material to cover. Anyways, guys, we'll be back next week for Week 10. A lot of fun matchups happening. I'm excited. The Bills and Jets are facing each other. That's going to be exciting. The Cardinals and Seahawks are playing in prime time. That should be exciting. The Packers and Lions, even though the Lions have been sucking, that's the battle of the first place and second place team from last year. That will be sort of exciting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of those games alive. I can see the Jaguars beating the Ravens next week. That'll be interesting. Patriots and Giants Super Bowl rematch. That'll be interesting. Broncos and Chiefs finally getting their rematch. We'll see. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.